welcome to FrightFest. You've been coming for a few years. You're back with the Sacrifice game this year, which is closing the festival. How do you feel to be back?
I mean, I love London, obviously, because of, you know, punk rock heritage, the art, the Dickensian architecture, the people that are here. It's like a lot of film fests that I go to, it's like the crowds really show up for this film festival. And the idea that we sold out so instantaneously, everyone has great questions, the Q&A, so I always love coming to London. And I love the guys who are in the film festival.
And you've worked with Jen before, but what was it about the Sacrifice game that made you say, yeah, I'm ready to go into this film with you again?
Because Jen's my friend, she's like my sister, and I love her. And so any way that I could make her next movie come true, I did it. So I was reading the script while we were on tour for the Ranger because it was written already, and I really love aspects of the young girls coming of age, the sort of like nuance around the female characters and the cult, and a lot of the monologuing in the film remind me a lot of her influences reading Helter Skelter at a young age. And those aspects are why I love the script, but of course I'm going to help Jen with her next film, whatever it would be. And I went to Fantasia Film Fest for many years. I've known Albert, one of the producers, for 9 years. I was wearing a Russian prison tattoo shirt, and he read it in Cyrillic, and that's how I met Albert. And we were always talking about making movies together. And then I met Phil when we were on the run for the Ranger at South by Southwest, and he goes, Heather, one day we're going to make a movie together. And this is the movie we made together. And much like, sort of like the Glass Eye Pix feel, which means like friends making movies and working together, it was the same thing on set. It was like best friends making movies every single day, even if there was like any sort of like, you know, because like working movies, sometimes it gets like long hours, stressful, but the idea that we still were just funny, silly, joking, and we were hoping it's like we can continue to make movies for the rest of our lives together. It was a very special experience.
And I think that's something that sort of independent horror has that not much of the film industry has. It is that sense of community. What is it like to be sort of part of that tribe?
Of the independent film community, because I think that we are interested in auteur work and particular nuanced stories. And I find that for my slate for Black Mansion Films, all the other creatives that I'm very interested in come from that point of view. It's like you live a world, you have secrets of what you've seen in the world, and you're sharing them through these scripts, and it's hard. Of course, I've always loved horror, because in a sense, like when Dolly said I am drugs, it's like I'm kind of like horror. The way that I look, my imagery, my outlook on life, and I love its great focus on the other. And I think there's sort of like that quality about making the Sacrifice game, and also the things that I produce and that I'm interested in. So I'm like a part of like the horror community. I love it. I've loved horror since I was, and I think like a lot of female filmmakers, they don't talk about the fan aspect of it, but I was reading Fangoria magazine since I was around 13 years old. Like I read Gore Zone #9 first with the laughing down on the cover, and then like Gore Zone 11 had Leatherface in part 3, and then part 3 was at Fangoria magazine. It's like, what's Fangoria magazine? And now I work with Fangoria, my studio with Fangoria, so it's incredible. So I've always loved horror. I've always loved the rock and roll music. It's a big part of who I am.